Welcome to Market Tea Tuesday,
where the tea is always hot.
Well, it's definitely been a hot week of craziness. So
yes, it definitely has been.
I mean, we've had war, no war, ceasefire, oil prices, rates up, rates down. Market can't decide what it wants. So it's been real crazy this week.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of folks just kind of like fixated on like what's going to happen to the market, what's happening to rates because of what's going on with the potential war that we're in. I don't even know what to call it right now.
So I think, right now we're ceasefire, which is great. Something that really drives inflation that a lot of people don't realize is oil, right? So when oil prices started to go up, we started to see rates drive up. The good thing is we bounced back and recovered from quite a bit of that. So that's the good news, because guess what? Oil goes into everything because everything has to travel, right? Our cars, shipments, all that. So that's what causes inflation. Oil is a big driver of that. So because the cost has been going down, we're seeing rates come down a little bit too, which is great. Okay. And so I think that is a big thing to point out. And again, we always talk about we need to see those inflation numbers come down.
Yeah, and it's until everything settles too, right? It's still too early to tell where this is all going. But
again, rates aren't bad. They're not horrible at all. So
no, they're not.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of clients, when I send out their quotes and stuff, they're like, oh, wow. Like they expected it to be way higher than what we're able to provide for, lock them in.
Well, that's the benefit of using a broker too. I mean, on average, we save $11,000 per the HMDA data over the lifetime of a loan. So that's important to note. And then, we had war threats and, then now we're ceasefire with Israel and Iran. So that's important to note too. And that's going to give security to the market because, again, I always say the market is like a toddler. It's going to throw a fit. We're going to see reaction. Give it a lollipop and it's fine.
I love that metaphor.
So that's what's going to happen. But also let's talk about really big news. Okay. So just like Googling things and then all of a sudden you see an ad for that infinitely for your whole life. It's on your TikTok stream. It's on Instagram, Facebook, all the things. Something that we've been pushing for so hard that I actually personally went to DC for last year as well is the trigger lead bill. What does that mean? When we pull your credit, we share none of your information. However, the people who are supposed to protect your information, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, are sharing your public information. And all of our cell phone numbers are on the internet. So when you get 50,000 spam calls when applying for a home equity, a loan, anything, guess what? They just passed to make that illegal. Now, we all know anything in the government to institute. However, it has passed, which is huge. So now we just have to wait for them to implement it. It's big. So now your servicer and your mortgage broker who you were able to will be able to reach out to you, but it will eliminate a lot of the spam. So that's great.
Yeah. And if you are in the process of, purchasing a home and you get your credit pulled and you're getting spam calls and text messages and all the things, there is a way that you can help reduce the calls and the text messages, not necessarily eliminate them 100%, but you go to the opt-out pre-screen website and that should help a little bit. But I know personally my clients are always calling and they're like, did something happen? Like, why is my phone blowing up? So I always have to explain to them what's happened and what they can do to help reduce those calls. So this feels like a big win for us, for sure.
It's a huge win because I personally have helped a few clients that literally within 30 minutes, they compared it to hell. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because it really is all the spam calls. So,
and I get it, the credit bureaus want you to shop and get a better deal. But again, going back to Ashley's point, that's why you work with a broker, because we do the shopping for you. You don't have to worry about going out and shopping for better rates and all that. We work with various lenders that gives us various options. So that's the beauty of working with a broker. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's huge.
And then something else, let's talk about the May market. It looks like the existing home sales went up in May, but they're still down year over year. Listings are coming in hot, right? Like there's a lot of inventory, which again, I feel like this conversation hasn't changed, right? Buyers have an advantage here. So something that I read was that on average, each listing is getting about 2.5 offers. Whereas a couple years ago, that was, I mean, you would have to times that by what, 3, 4?
Yeah.
So definitely if you're, if you're in the market to buy, this is your market. This is where you want to go because you have an advantage to negotiate and less competition.
Yeah, no, I think that's really true to consider, and just buy the house. Like, let's make sure it's feasible for you. Buy the house, refi later. Let's get these. Everybody's been asking, like I say over and over, you've been asking for the buyer's market. Here it is. Take it. Like,
right.
It's yours. It's yours for the taking. And so we just have to be optimistic in the market, because if you're constantly talking about negative, that's all you're going to see. And the news does enough making everything sound negative, because guess what? Clickbait sells, right?
Right.
And so it's important. Talk to professionals. Make sure you understand all the parameters. Make sure that it's affordable for you, because we don't want to put you in something that's not feasible for you. And the great news is, as brokers, we work for you and not the bank. So we're shopping for you. We're taking that burden away from you. We are here to support and help you in your biggest financial decision.
Yes. And this is a big purchase. So you want to make sure you make an educated decision here.
Yeah.
And work with someone that's going to take the time to educate you too.
Yeah.
Because confidence in a transaction like this, I think, means a lot. You don't want to have to look back and be like, oh, did I make the right decision? Because once you sign those documents, you're pretty much locked in, for a while.
So it's important. And then also, let's talk about another thing for our clients that are currently owning a house and looking to refinance.
Yes.
Sometimes it is the time and sometimes it's not. If you're getting, especially veterans, they get these letters that say 4.75. Well, then it's like $30,000 in rate buy down. And that doesn't make sense. You want to make sure that it's somebody, like, we're always your trusted professional. If someone's giving you a 4.75 with no rate buy down, please, Lord, like, take that and also give me their number. Okay. But that's not normally, when it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So I've had veterans send me this stuff, and they've had literally $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in closing costs. And the thing about VA in particular is that they can put any value they want. So they're eating up their equity, causing them to maybe be upside down. And these are the people we're supposed to protect the most as veterans. So please call us so we can tell you whether it's time to refi, whether it's not. And listen, it may not mean a lower rate. Whatever, it may be taking off PMI, it may be paying off debt, it might be a HELOC. Like, if you're in $50,000 to $100,000 of credit card debt and you're drowning at 20, the national, I think, credit card interest rate is like 24.999. That's crazy. Like, let's look at making your house work for you and getting that equity out if it's available. Now, again, you can't tap into 100% of your equity unless you are a veteran. And even over 90%, it's an additional fee for you to tap into that. But up to 80%, we can tap in. And that's equity that's that you haven't got to tap into. It's not taxable, things like that. So it's important to look at that.
Right. And I think it's always important for us to be transparent and tell you what your return on investment is, because you spend a lot of money doing a refinance. It's not free. So you want to make sure that it makes sense for you.
And let's also talk about that, because all these lenders out there saying, oh, I'll give you a free refi for the next 5 years. Okay. When it sounds too good to be true, repeat after me, it probably is. Okay.
Yeah.
What they do is they build that into the rates. Okay. They're basically going back old school. I know that these are naughty words, yield spread premium, but that's exactly what they're doing. Okay. They're building it into that back end. You're actually taking a higher rate to cover some of those closing costs. So again, that may be what's best for you, but maybe it's not, because there's title fees you can avoid. Now, we're not charging you any origination fees, things like that, unless you want to buy down the rate some, but that's for you to decide and see options. So don't take these little smoke and mirror things
and run with it. Yeah. Ask questions. And honestly, like, just yesterday, I had an agent reach out to me, and she's like, hey, like, I have someone that's in the process of purchasing. Can you look at this estimated fee sheet? And I looked at it, and I could have easily said, oh, I'll work with them, send them my way. But they had a good deal. Like, why would I, so definitely work with someone that's transparent and is going to do what's best for you. Like, trust me, the process isn't easy and it's not short. So we don't want to have to go back to step one for you if you have a good deal. Now, if that estimate fee sheet did not look right, I'd be like, okay, send it my way. I got something better for them.
So we can always give you a second opinion on a loan estimate if any of your
Absolutely.
buyers ask. It makes you look like more of a professional too. Like, hey, let me get this evaluated for you. We do have an amazing software that can review everything as well as we put our eyes on it. So let us take a second look at it. Make sure your buyers are not getting ripped off, because again, using a broker saves on average $11,000, and minorities actually save more based on HMDA data. So it's super important to understand. And I know everybody, let's talk about the news of Hometown Heroes that came out this week too. We had so many like big things. Everybody was rushing to talk about Hometown Heroes in like months ago. That there was $100 million, that there was no job requirement. And then it was so bad that Florida Housing put out a naughty letter and said, no, stop talking about it, stop posting about it, all the things, because they were tired of getting the phone calls and getting bogged down. 50 million was approved, which will go very quickly. And also it is job requirements again, not to mention it is income requirements as well. So it's important to note those things, and it's not forgiven either. So it's super important that your buyers understand that, because the rate is set by the state of Florida for that particular day. No lender gets a different rate. You cannot buy down the rate. It doesn't matter. You cannot. Okay. So if they buy it, they want to refi, rent, anything, they have to pay that back. And so it's important to understand that it's like really sucking your equity. But if that is the only option for them to get a house, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
But explaining the full parameters of it, we have so many programs. Like we have grants that give up to $7,000.
1%. I love the 1% conventional. I think that one's hot for us right now.
And if you have listings that you can't get sold, post this may qualify for 1% down. Let us run it and see if it qualifies for 1% down. It's an amazing product. It's literally the one time that I say things sound too good to be true. This one's not. It's free money.
It's free money. Yeah.
So take it.
And you can use, for this one, you can also buy the rate down, which is something you can't do with Hometown Heroes and some of the other down payment assistance. Yeah. So if you work with an agent that negotiates some credits for you, you can definitely buy the rate down with this program, and you get 2% of your 3% minimum down payment. Yeah, and
also speaking of seller concessions, if you guys want a seller concession cheat sheet, if you want us to mail you one, please comment or message us. We'll send you a free seller concession cheat sheet so that you can be confident based on what a buyer's putting down, what to ask for your buyers, and based on the product.
Yes, because there are some requirements. So it's not just, oh, I'm going to go ask for the 3%, or no, like if they're putting a little bit more, you may be able to ask for a little bit more. And I always tell my agents, I'm like, the worst that they can say is no.
Yep.
They want that house sold, so I promise you they're going to negotiate.
Yeah, especially with so much inventory. So, but now's the time to buy. Again, if rates come down 1%, we are going to see 5 million buyers added, and that's huge because think about the inventory available. So, but
this was a fun Market Tea Tuesday. Sorry we were a little late today. We've been dealing with a lot of fires.
So much information. So, all right, guys.
Make sure you join us next week. Bye.